What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living here in West Africa. And if you want to see the hottest parties in Sierra Leone 9 years running, then this is the video for you. All right, cool. So if you are not clear, today we're gonna take you to 4 of the hottest parties happening in Sierra Leone every year, sometimes multiple times per year. We're talking about the Ballin parties, and then an additional party now called the House of Africa, or THOA, as it's so affectionately called. So they are run by Siaka Stevens. If you have not seen that interview with Siaka Stevens, check the link in the description below. I actually interviewed him as the last video before this one, so you get a chance to hear the story behind these parties and how they came to be. But today, you guys get a chance to see the parties up close and personal from a first-hand view. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so let's start with the Ballin Spray Party. Now, these parties actually started in London a while ago. So, but they weren't spray parties. They were just the Ballin parties at clubs in London. So you guys will get a chance to see what those look like here, where you could see, I mean, the beautiful people, really interesting parties. He's also done this party in Ghana as well. Idris Alba was a guest for him in Ghana, and so he did this party in Ghana. Now, when he started in Sierra Leone back in 2014, they were doing it at the Radisson Blu. And he's still been doing it at the Radisson Blu. And what this is a spray party. He gives free champagne to everyone. And every table has champagne. They shake it up and they spray it all over the place. So most people are dressed in their bathing suits. It starts as a day party and goes all the way until whenever. So you got people going swimming, you got people in their bathing suits dancing and partying. I've gone to this party. 2018 was the first time I went. I've gone a bunch of different times. It is a wild party. Let's just get right into it. All right, so Ballin Party is really like a pool party. I mean, everybody comes in their pool outfits, next to nothing. So you got a little bit of a montage there. Here's the table we had at the last Ballin Party. The crew had, this is the party starters crew. We had our own table. It was packed and they were spraying champagne everywhere, but it was a good time. But it was the last time we went as a crew. You're gonna see in a little bit later that we actually ended up going to the Ballin Over 30 party because we kind of aged out of the pool party. You know, as you can see, we're the old heads. We're chilling, sitting down. I mean, we still have fun, but it's much different than when, you know, you're in your early 20s and this is kind of one of your first times going to a big party. It is a good time. If you haven't been to a Ballin party, I definitely recommend you go. This was just my 4th one, and so at some point we decided, all right, it's time to move on to the next. So that was the Ballin party. What'd you think about it? Pretty wild, right? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear what you think about the Ballin party. All right, on to the next. All right, so next we have the Ballin Over 30 party. Now this party is more like a gala, right? Where people are dressed up in their finest fits. It's a black tie kind of event. I wore a bow tie, dress shirt, you know, tuxedo, jacket. You know, I went all out, right? This is a gala style party, much more sophisticated. Generally, the age of the folks that are at this party is over 30. And as Siaka said in the interview, he wanted to make a party that's available for those who kind of aged out of the spray party, the pool party. So this party is a little bit more of an intimate party, more mature crowd, but a great place for networking and also amazing, beautiful people. So without further ado, you guys need to check that out. All right, guys, so I'm at Country Lodge. I'm about to go in. I had to try to stay inside the car to do this intro video because there's nowhere else to do it. It's gonna be really loud, but we're about to go in, so check it out. Now, as I mentioned before, the Ballin Over 30 party is really more our vibe, right? I mean, we're a little bit older, so we like to go to something that's a little bit more like dressed up. You got to get dressed up. You know, it's definitely a more sophisticated vibe. The Ballin Spray Party, don't get me wrong, is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, and then you see a lot of interesting people. But the Over 30 party really is where I met a lot of interesting people, networked a lot, actually met some people that I'm potentially going to do business with, some people that I've actually ended up interviewing. So it was really, really a good party for me because I think it turned out to be something that ended up generating revenue. And that's what you want. You go to a party, not only do you have a good time, but you walk away with potential business partnerships. Isn't that like what the ideal scenario is? And look, it looks good on Sierra Leoneans. Like good dressed up clothes, we look good in it. The women look good. All the women said the guys look good. And it just feels good to get dressed up in your best. You know what I'm saying? So these are my homegirls, Sylvia and Adjara, who have made appearances previously on the channel. They have like a little step and repeat there. AYV was interviewing people. It was really, really interesting to kind of get a chance to see Sierra Leoneans dress up in their finest, for sure. So this is, of course, the step and repeat. This is what it looks like. Here's me, Sylvia, and Adjara taking pictures. As you can see, there's the full-on suit. You got the whole thing with the bow tie and the tuxedo. You know, we thought he was taking a picture, but he was actually recording us. But it's all good because it ended up coming out looking good anyway. So Adjara on the right, Sylvia on the left, like as you're looking at the screen. And then you had me being interviewed by AYV. Because I know these folks over there, and they asked me some interesting questions, what I was looking forward to, my name, a little bit about myself. So I introduced myself. I talked about the fact that I have a Instagram and a YouTube channel and everything under the Authentic African brand. He asked me who I was looking forward to seeing there. They asked me if I was looking forward to finding a date and finding a relationship, which I thought was hilarious. But overall, I thought it was just a good overall fun interview. Kept it lighthearted. I definitely was trying to figure out how to answer these questions on the fly because I wasn't prepared for it. But it was a good time. When he asked me if I was what I was looking for in a woman, I was like, man, I was not prepared to answer that question today at this particular junction. But I think I answered it well. And if you go to AYV, you'll be able to check it out. So yeah, make sure you check it out. All right, here's the man himself, Shaka Stevens on the ones and twos. He is a DJ as well. So he was there DJing. I had to come up here and film him so you can get a little chance to see what he does. He gets busy though, for sure. He's good at what he does. And then this is what it looks like just walking in. Like you could see the decadence and opulence and how us Sierra Leoneans can get dressed up for an event. I mean, they look good. Everyone looks good. So here's a crew of friends of mine. You might recognize the young lady to the right and the two other ladies here. This is Razia, Sadia, and the other Sadia as well. They all were part of Razia's Evolution Fitness interview, so you got a chance to see that. Then this is the VIP area where a bunch of people had tables, and this is how all the beautiful people look. They were having a good time. This was me walking to our table, but first I had to stop by this table to see who all was there. And then of course I walked over to our table. And now we're gonna get into the official video of the Ballin Over 30, which is on their YouTube channel. So they have different music behind it. I'm gonna do a voiceover here so that you get a chance to hear, but obviously you got top shelf liquor. They have some really good staff. The DJ is on point. You see how he's having a good time. You know, it's just everybody is having a good time. You know, you have folks that are really, really dressed up, and you got people that are semi-dressed up. You know, every year that they do this Ballin kind of over 30 or white party or a few of the versions of the party that they do, you get different ways that people dress up. Some people go really all out with the tuxedo and like ball gowns and things like that. Sometimes you have folks that are just a little bit more casual, but you see how the people look. I mean, they look good. There's Shaka Stevens again. And then of course there's some other people just, you know, enjoying a shisha and chilling. Shaka's back on there on the ones and twos. There's the people dancing. This is the thing I love about Sierra Leone though. People get really dressed up and they still dance. You know, like in other countries, especially when I was in Ghana, right? People would get dressed up and they do not dance. But Sierra Leoneans, it doesn't matter how dressed up you are, Sierra Leoneans are dancing. Even if they're looking at their phones, they are dancing. We are a group of people who likes to have fun. And the dope part about it is these are more mature folks, right? These are folks who, you know, who are further along in their careers, business owners, folks that want to meet those people. So you got a really eclectic group of folks, but folks that are like, whoever you meet there are people that you're going to potentially have business with, or you could potentially find a significant other. I know many people have mentioned that the last time they went to this Ballin party, they met someone that you know, that they wanna pursue a relationship with. So I would definitely recommend coming to the Ballin Over 30 party if you are, not planning to go to the spray party, or even if you go to the spray party, you can go to this party as well. I mean, this is just going to be less people that are going to be under the age of 30, right? There are going to be some folks that might be a little bit younger, but for the most part, you're going to have folks that are further along in their careers, and they're going to be folks that you could really vibe with and engage with, especially if you're in my age group. Me approaching 40, this is kind of more the vibe and the group that I'm really looking forward to being around and hanging out with, and really, discussing business deals with, And you can just see it's beautiful people having a good time. And, we have an eclectic group of Sierra Leoneans. You see, they look good. They look good. You see it all. And then you also have some expats and diaspora folks there too. This is done in December, where you have a lot of folks that come to town from out of the country. So overall, it's just a good time. And I definitely recommend it for anybody who's planning to come to Sierra Leone and wants to go to like a really nice event. So when you're coming to Sierra Leone in December, pack a suit so that you can go to Ballin Over 30. So what do you guys think? How did you think about how everyone was dressed and, looking at this Ballin Over 30 party? Is it a party that you'd want to go to? Let us know in the comments below. All right, cool. On to the next. All right, cool. So next we have the Ballin Africana party. So this is just to switch it up even more. And this is also for my more diverse crowd, but people who wanted to get dressed up, but maybe don't want to go to a gala. And this is where people wear their ashobis. This is what we call it, an ashobi in Sierra Leone. Some people call it kente cloth in Ghana. There are different names for these types of African style clothes, right? You've heard all the different names of them. We call it ashobi in Sierra Leone. So you'll get a chance to see what that looks like. So check it out. All right, so for Ballin Africana, this is a different kind of event. This is an event that is really kind of a mix between what I would say like the spray party is and that gala party, right? You have folks that are, of all ages, but want to dress up in Africana, in African print clothes. And you have an eclectic group, as you can see from that clip there. You definitely have an interesting group of folks, but they all look good. Don't we look good in our African gear? And it's exciting to see folks that can get dressed up in our traditional Africa attire in so many different shapes and forms, and it still looks good. I definitely recommend coming to this party if you are in town when it happens. It's usually in the early part of the new year. And as I said before, doesn't matter what people are wearing, they're willing to get down. They're willing to get down. This is what Sierra Leoneans do. We party, we dance, we have a good time. But I definitely recommend coming. I mean, you really get a chance to see some interesting folks. You even have some, you have some expats there. You saw some expats. You got some diasporans that come to town. And then, of course, you hear Afro beats. You also hear hip hop music. You get a little reggae too. I mean, the great thing about these ballin' parties or these parties that Siaka throws is that he always ensures that the music is really, really good. From start to finish, people are going to be dancing. So whatever you're into, whether you're into Afro beats more, or if you're into hip hop more, if you're into reggae more, you're going to get a little bit of anything you want to listen to. Sierra Leonean artists get played. So like every potential type of artist or genre of music you want to hear, you will hear coming to these parties. And so what I like about this party though is it's a little bit bigger than the Ballin Over 30 party, but a little bit smaller than the spray party. So it's just kind of the right size audience to really get it, like to get the party going. And it's a lot of good people. That's my homegirl Leanne right there. We always got to make a surprise appearance, because look, this is the party starters and that's what we do. But yeah, as you can see, people had an amazing time, a really good time. People of all ages are really there showing up and showing out. So I definitely recommend you also bring your ashobi, your Africana gear when you come to Sierra Leone, especially if you're going to stay into the new year, because you don't want to miss this party. All right, so that's the Ballin Africana party. What'd you guys think? How do you think about how everybody was dressed? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. All right, guys, on to the next. All right, cool. So the next party is going to be the THOA party, or the House of Africa. And now this party is completely different from the previous three parties that I talked about. those parties were way more like African themed, and the demographic is mostly Sierra Leoneans at those parties. Now, the THOA party, the House of Africa party, of course Sierra Leoneans go to that, but what you find is a lot of the other expats, and we're talking about people of different descents. We're talking about European descent, people from, you know, other parts of the world who are in Sierra Leone. This is a rave party, right? This is a house music party. They did this out at the beach. People enjoyed themselves thoroughly. But it's different. It's house music. They bring in house music DJs. It's a completely different vibe, but it's smart to switch it up to do a different kind of party. This is the first and the biggest of its kind. It kind of reminds me, there's a club in Sierra Leone that people like to go to called THOA, and that's where you find a lot of like the people who work at the American Embassy, all those kinds of folks who usually go to THOA. That is what the House of Africa looked like. That crowd that goes to THOA came out to House of Africa. And you know what? Check it out. So that was THOA, the House of Africa. Is that an event that you would go to? Is that something that seems interesting to you? Let me know in the comments below. Definitely want to hear from you. All right, on to the next. All right, guys, so those were the biggest parties that happen every year in Sierra Leone. And there's so many of them. Again, what did you guys think about the Ballin Spray Party? What did you guys think about the Ballin Over 30 Party? The gala where people dressed up and got, you know, in their finest threads. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What did you guys think of the Ballin Africana, right? Like how people are dressed up in their showbiz and Africana style dress. And then lastly, what did you think of the THOA party? Definitely want to hear from you guys. Would you go to any of these parties? Have you been to any or all of these parties? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. I went to a bunch of them, love them, had a lot of fun, but I want to hear from you guys, so let me know in the comments. All right, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share it with your friends. All right, see you on the next video. Now, if you want to see the interview that I did with Shaka Stevens about these parties, you want to click on this here, so you can go to that interview and you can hear how he put all this stuff together. And if you want to see some more of the Sierra Leone nightlife, you want to click down here. There's plenty of Sierra Leone nightlife. You want to check that out. So click here and you'll see that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.